views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Get ready to experience the truth. Welcome to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Truth Talk Radio is the hit show that will illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. Unleash your intuitive nature while Deb helps you stop looking outside yourself for value and happiness, break through patterns, and move into your authentic truth at lightning speed. Truth Talk Radio will leave you feeling lighter, help you live with more presence, passion, and clarity, and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Now here's your host, Deb Acker.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deb Acker, and you are listening to Truth Talk on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with me for the next hour as I help you experience the truth, nothing but the truth. Each week on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll have some of the most gifted, inspiring, and unique souls, speakers, and authors helping to move you into more light, love, and, of course, truth. And before we get started, I'd like to start out today's show with an intention. And my intention for today's show is that everyone that needs to hear this conversation hears it, and that you leave feeling expansive, inspired, lit up, and ready to move through your fear. So with that, I'd like to welcome Christina Bull to the show. Christina is a mindset and transition coach, a lifestyle entrepreneur, a healer, a world traveler, and most importantly, a wife and a mother. All of these resulting from a former banking executive who left the old life behind and crossed Europe to be with the man she loved. For over 14 years, Christina worked in the corporate world for some of the biggest global companies. In 2012, she decided to follow her heart, and now she runs coaching programs and mentors professional women to connect to their true self and live their purpose. And I can definitely relate to Christina's desire to leave the corporate world and her purpose to become a healer and traveler. So with that, I'd like to welcome her to the show. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, Deb. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah.
It's a great pleasure to be with you here today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. So excited to have today's conversation on living as your most confident self and harnessing your fears. So tell me, like, how, you touched on it a little bit in your bio, but how did you kind of get on this journey? What did that look like? Tell me more about that.
Okay. I started this journey, I think, much earlier than I'm really realizing it today. In the beginning, I only wanted to go and to pursue a corporate career, and I really strove and went and climbed the corporate ladder. But the point is that after getting somewhere pretty close to the top of it, I still had a question: is it this all that there is? And I started seeking for something deeper, for something more meaningful, for something that was able to fulfill me more. And it was not a short journey. It was not an easy journey, and it was not a journey that changed me overnight. But I think it was a self-elevation journey in which I discovered little by little bits of truth about myself, about my values, about what was really important for me in my life, and what was truthful to do with my life and in relationship with others. And I still remember the day when I was in my very fancy corporate office, and I was looking towards the park, watching the lake across the street, and the lake was glittering in the sun, and I don't know, connecting there with that energy of that lake and of that green park that was seen by a person dying little by little in her cubicle. I had one of my first revelations. It was the revelation that I was doing something completely useless and that I was wasting my life. I was a corporate person, as I said. I was a communication director in a bank, and I had been spending the last 6 or 8 years helping banks to basically sell money, right? And that was a huge punch for me to realize how useless was what I was doing. I mean, great, I was earning lots of money, but I was not really feeling inside of myself that it was something that was helpful for the world, for myself. And it was a huge change. I think that was the point when I started the shift. Of course, that I went the next day to work as usual, and I continued, fortunately or unfortunately, we never know, over the next like 2 years. But once that shift occurred, and once I gained the awareness of what is my purpose, or at least what is not my purpose, so that I can go after what is my purpose, my life started to change. And then I think it was an accumulation of energy and of critical mass, because at the point when enough was somehow enough for me, it was a sudden change. I mean, that kind of change in which you pass from a single corporate career focused woman to falling in love, living kind of everything, all life, all world, known world behind, and going to a new world with new norms, new values, and starting a completely new life. And this new life for me was a life where I decided that I had to dedicate myself to pursuing my purpose and my heart calling in the end. And this is how I got to where I am today. I as you said, I crossed Europe. I am Romanian. I was living in Romania. And today I am living in Portugal, having a Portuguese husband and a half Portuguese daughter. And doing something that fulfills me much more. I mean, I know that everything that I had done until this moment, until the moment when I started to really walk on my path, was an experience that was necessary, because there are some people that knew from the beginning what they are supposed to do in this life, but I think that the great majority of us have to go through a process of seeking, of self-discovering, of growth. And that was my process that brought me where I am today.
Well, and to dive deeper into you went to work that next day, but then from there, how did you start to explore and open up to what this purpose was really meant to look like?
I think I started an individual work that was both internal work, with myself, with gaining more awareness of what was good for me and what was helpful and what was unhelpful in terms of emotions, activities, even really company, because many times we are not aware of how all these factors are impacting our well-being or our being. And so I started this work that was more internal, and also I started to my brother was joking that I was going to all the courses that were open in this spirituality area in Bucharest, the capital of Romania. I was going and trying to learn. I was going to find answers, to hear people speaking about what was interesting for me. I basically stopped reading belletristics and all the novels that I was reading, and all my efforts, all my focus, all my energy was to find answers. Of course, that at a spiritual level, the true awareness doesn't come from rational awareness, from knowledge, right? From knowing more. It's from being. But for me, as a rational person, that was a necessary step. I had to learn. I had to understand. I had to know more. And even if that was not impacting directly my spiritual awareness, it was helping me to find my way, to find my path, and to connect probably better with those parts in me that I was not even aware of. So I think that these were the first two things that, or the main two things that I did in that period of time while I was still working. I was still a corporate busy bee. But I was working also with myself, and I was trying to find out more, to understand more, and to find answers.
Yeah, no, I think that that's super common where it's like, you start to, you have that, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people have that defining moment where it's like, okay, like you were sitting out and you were looking at the lake and it just kind of hit you, and you have that defining moment. For my defining moment was all around, like, I was just ready to see my life look differently, to see things look differently. And that was it was like I had reached the bottom of the bottom, and I was like, okay, like, something's got to change. And then you go and you start like opening to what's in front of you, right? So you open, like what you're talking about is like you started reading, right? And so you give the universe the opportunity to really connect into and really like help you, kind of guide you, right? So you just start taking some sort of action so that you can get some sort of feedback towards that, towards yay or nay, and you start to really open to, okay, like, what information do I need to really move and really be on this path and really move towards my calling and my purpose. And so really, that's awesome that you started to read and started to really follow those answers and just open to that guidance. So we're going to take a quick break here. You are listening to Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. When we come back, we are going to explore more with Christina. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthисfunny.com.
The Doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and for a special broadcast the second Thursday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit truthtalkradioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
We're back on Truth Talk, and I am your host, Deb Acker. My guest today is Christina Bold, and we are talking about how to live as your most confident self. But before we continue, Christina, can you give everyone your contact info and tell everyone about your new program?
Yes, Deb, thank you so much for mentioning that. I can be contacted at christinabold.com. And also on my Facebook page, that it's Coach Christina Bold. And I think that these are the main two ways that people can get in direct contact with me.
Well, and I know today we're talking about living as your most confident self and harnessing your fears. And I believe you have a course out, or a course coming out on that. What's that about?
Yes, I am on the last 100 meters before launching the course. It's a course that, as you said, Deb, will teach people how to live as their most confident self, how to rock it with confidence. And I got to the conclusion that this course is needed and it's useful, not only based on my personal experience, like, as a person that achieved a lot and went to great heights, but always carried around self-sabotaging attributes and beliefs. But also, I noticed in my clients that no matter how powerful, how successful, how intelligent, how smart, how beautiful my clients were, they always have some issues in the back of the mind that are directly related to lack of confidence, directly related to feeling insecure, not good enough, not prepared enough. And especially we women have the tendency, besides apologizing very frequently, that comes from a lack of confidence many times, but also we have the tendency to always over-prepare, to always believe that it's necessary to be perfect in order to be good enough. And the point here is that perfect doesn't exist, but that's another story. Anyway, what I notice is that be it persons that are just starting in their professional lives, or persons that are already established and with quite an impressive track record of successes, we need, or the majority of us need still to work on their confidence. And the good news is that we can control our confidence, and we can definitely create it. We cannot go back in the past and take a redo on all the missed opportunities and all the troubles caused by this lack of confidence, but we can definitely increase our awareness, and we can definitely create our confidence. And that's the course.
Yeah, let me ask you. So, what are some of the beliefs that come up? You mentioned not good enough. What are some of the beliefs that come up for these? Because I see this all the time in my work too, where you've got these really super successful women, and then they have a hard time, speaking up for themselves and standing up for themselves. So, what are some of the beliefs, and what are some of the patterns that you see around not being confident or being insecure in our everyday lives?
Oh, I heard a lot of declinations of or manifestations of this lack of belief. As I said, from we women tending to apologize all the time, whether it's justified or not. to considering that we are never good at self-promotion, that we are not heard, we are not respected, that sometimes, I don't know if you know from your own experience, I know it from mine, that those moments when you hear other persons saying out loud what you are thinking silently, and they take the credit and you're just being taken as being mute and empty of ideas. This again comes from the lack of confidence. The problem also with the women is that we are, most of us are suffering of the perfectionist syndrome and of the imposter syndrome. Perfectionist syndrome is that, as I said, related with over preparing, with the sensation that is not good enough, that is not sufficient enough, and we are just then digging ourselves in details and postponing to really take action because it's not good enough. And the imposter syndrome, I don't know, I lived this one. I was already a corporate executive for several years, and I was still feeling like a fraud. I was feeling that I will be discovered as a phony after, of course, screwing it all up. So no matter the successes, it's always that voice in the back of the mind that says, it's not sufficient. You are not good enough. You don't have what it takes. You are not prepared. You are still not having the necessary skills. So I think that these are some of the main beliefs that are coming up in at least from my experience in the lives of many women. And again, I want to emphasize that these feelings of inadequacy are pervasive even in the very capable and highly intelligent women. I mean, success is not a guarantee of confidence.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Why do you think, and because it is like, well, at least my perception is that it's even more common in women than it is in men. Why do you think we're so naturally wired that way, or that we tend to kind of lean that way? Like, where do you have any sense of where that comes from?
Well, I don't have any personal research to back my supposition, but my impression, my sensation, and my perception is that women were wired to be with less confidence than men, because let's face it, since we are little girls, we are educated to stay quiet, calm, and to behave, right? And then we are compensated. We are
rewarded.
Exactly, yeah. For behaving in a nice way, calm and quiet. So this then, of course, that creates a kind of mindset that even in adult years tells us that being more quiet, not self-promoting too much, not speaking too loud, not asking for many things, it's the way to be, because that's how it should be. Of course, that I think now in the last years, this kind of mindset started to shift little by little. But if we ask generations that are now, I don't know, in late 40s, late 50s, and older, I think that they can say that this was happening very strongly, and they were feeling very strongly this differentiation between men confidence and women confidence based on what was appropriate to do.
Well, so, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of education in the end, and the way that we are being educated as small girls and then small young girls impacts a lot the way then that we behave as adults when going out and having to deal with the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then, so like, what do you think? And I know we got to go to break here in a couple minutes, but I'm curious to hear, so how do we start to move into, we've identified some of the patterns, some of the beliefs that are behind that, but how do we start to become more confident? How do we start to actually just step into our own truth of our own confidence and how powerful we truly are?
Okay, this is a great question, Deb, and I don't know if we still have time to answer it, but I identified several main pillars. First is working on the competence. Secondly is working on the fears. And here I am trying to teach the techniques of separating ourselves from our fears. The third is how to harness our negative thoughts. And the fourth is how to control and to use to our benefit to harness the body language. And I'm saying the body language, but I mean the entire physiology, which affects our mind, our way of thinking, and our results.
Well, and is there like one like really quick tool that you have that might help listeners that are feeling that self-doubt, that aren't feeling as confident as they'd like to be?
A very quick fix we can find in Mastering the Body Language of Confidence. And it comes from Amy Cuddy, which is a psychologist with Harvard University. And she had a fantastic research that showed that 2 minutes of power posing before any important event boosts confidence instantly. And the results are amazing in terms of how we feel inside, but also how we come across.
Great. No, that's awesome. Cool. So you are listening to Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to explore more with Christina. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Are you and your family looking for one manageable lifestyle change that will positively impact your health? Look no further. That change begins inside your drinking glass. Learn how to put a lid on junk drinking by sipping from a recipe collection of colorful, fresh, tasty, wholesome fruit and vegetable blends. Get your copy now of Sip the Garden. Fun, easy drinks for a healthier family by T. Carey Mitchell. Visit lifestyle120.com for information on how to order.
Awaken to your radiant, authentic self. For over 15 years, Soul Purpose Advocate Nancy Monson has been focused on leading change in the lives of those looking to live their true purpose. She is devoted to supporting people in living a soul-directed life every day. Let Nancy help you overcome fear, worry, and doubt. Visit everydayspirituality.com to learn how Nancy can be your soul purpose advocate.
Welcome back to Truth Talk. We are talking with Christina Bold about really how to live as your confident self. And when we left on break, Christina, you were talking about a tool to really step into and really harness that feeling of what it feels like to be powerful. What are some other ways that we can really step into our most and really live as our most confident self?
Deb, I am so happy that you mentioned again about that solution of power posing, because I am really enthusiastic about it. So enthusiastic that I even created a free video course all about the body language of confidence, because it, as you said, it's a quick solution, it's a quick fix. Of course, that for going and achieving something solid in our core, we should work on also the other pillars that I mentioned before, or working on our fears, working on our negative thinking, working on our competence, of course, but mastering the body language of confidence is something that not only that can happen quickly, but can give instant results. And the first technique is this technique of the power posing that Amy Cuddy has been promoting based on her studies results. And apparently 2 minutes of power posing. What is power posing? Power posing means any open position, spread. When you are spreading out, think about Superwoman, or think about the athletes crossing the arrival line, right, in victory pose. Arms up, anything that makes you spread, makes you occupy space, makes you feel bigger, it's a power pose. Apparently, just 2 minutes of this power posing before any important event decreases your cortisol, that is the stress level, the low status level, right? The lack of confidence hormone. So decreases the cortisol and increases the testosterone, which is the power hormone, the hormone that makes us feel like, we are ruling the world. So imagine what happens if in only 2 minutes you can decrease your stress basically and increase your self-assurance. Studies show that the presence of the persons that practice this power posing before interviews, let's say, it's so much more impressive that they are much more likely to be hired or to be chosen over people that did not practice any power posing before. Because in the end, let's face it, our presence, the way we are presenting ourselves, the way we are coming across, it's much more important in other people's perception, even than the content, even than what we are saying. So this is why I'm very enthusiastic with this power posing. And of course, then there are lots of other tips and tricks that are going from the way we are using our voice. As a healer, the voice is a vibration, and we are conveying a lot through our voice. So there are also techniques of starting to project with our voice. And when we cannot project with our voice, a trick here is to speak a little bit louder. Speaking a little bit louder also impacts our body position, because in order to speak louder, we have to open up the chest, right? We have to stand taller, we have to stand more straight. So just trying to speak a little bit louder if we try it can also impact the way that we come across and also the way we feel. Because, and this is another thing that I think is very interesting, our mind changes our actions and our outcomes, right? What we think, what we bear as beliefs in our mind, in the end change our outcomes, and our actions and our outcomes, but also our actions can change our minds. And this, I think, is revolutionary. When we have a consistent behavior by repetition, we condition our brain to assume a new identity ultimately. So if we are always going and we are going to the gym, we are not really big fans of hitting the gym, but if we are going regularly, we impose ourselves to go to the gym like for several months, we assume a new identity. We start believing, our brain says, dude, this is how I am or who I am. I am that lady that is going to the gym. So no, I think that mastering the body language is a wonderful, wonderful way of starting to create confidence.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love just really that idea of really you stepping into the feeling and you own the feeling. And it's like the feeling for me, I always describe it as the vibration. So it's like, that's what you're putting out in the world. If that's what you're quote unquote vibrating at, that's the quickest way to attract something. So it makes sense when you're talking about this power position and really stepping into sort of like that role, right? How you're going to show up in the everyday, why that would lead to higher success and getting hired and higher success in the workplace. And then the idea around our mind and really the actions changing the mind. I think it's the reverse way of looking at it. And it really, because you're right, everyone is always focused on like change your mind and even change your feelings, but really it's like there's always you often hear people talking about acting as if and acting like just really it's like act as if and as you step into that, it's like there's an old saying around, it's like, if you want to get promoted, it's like you basically step into the role before you've been promoted, right? So, you dress for it and all of that stuff. And that's that same idea, right? It's like taking that action and just owning that piece of it to call that into your everyday, to call that into your everyday world. So I love that. So I want to switch gears here a little bit. I know the other part of the show is really talking about harnessing your fears. What does it mean to you to harness your fears, and how do we do this?
Well, fears are an energy, right? So I think that it's very important to gain first a little bit of awareness of what fear is. Fear, we were taught and we were educated to believe that fear is something that is bad. When we were small kids, we were many times told, don't be silly, there is no such thing like I don't know what, or don't be afraid, that's insane, or all those words and expressions that educated us to believe that in fact feeling fears equals weakness or just being silly. So people started to reject fears, right? As it was a bad thing to feel fears. What was our reaction? To fight them, and when we could not fight them, to at least hide them. But in fact, fears are absolutely a normal response of our mind, of our brain, to stepping out of our comfort zone. Every time we step out of our comfort zone and we face a truly, genuinely challenging situation, we will feel fear. Why? Because our brains were wired since 100,000 years ago to try to project always the negative, to forecast potential risk, potential bad scenarios, so that the human being could stay alive in the beginning and could stay in a safe zone, right? Of course, we evolved, humanity evolved. Now we are not in the most of our lives. We are not chased by deathly dangers, perils, but still the brain, by a long training, serves us these kind of fears because this is how it was trained. But the fear is not a bad thing. It's a twisted way sometimes of our mind, our brain trying to protect us. And besides that, it's a type of energy. Now, knowing to accept that fears are not bad things, but are there just to protect us, and knowing how to give space to those fears just to exist without judging them, without fighting them, without trying to eliminate them, it's a first step in taking away the power of the fears. And then if we think about all the successful persons, athletes that are still feeling fears before challenging situations, but they are calling them as being revved or pumped up or extra excited, we understand that there is also another step, which is harnessing the fears. Transforming that, taking that energy that is of the fear and transforming it in such a way that it serves you.
And how do we do that? Like, how do we really, obviously you're talking about seeing the fear as not bad, but good. But how do we really do that to actually use the fear to really motivate us and drive us?
For this, the interested will have to take the course because it's really a technique. And I think that we will take several shows so that I am going into all the details. But the point here is there are lots of exercises. First is the point is to separate yourself from the fear. And there are some exercises that are coming from mindfulness and also from the cognitive behavior therapy that is based on acceptance and commitment. And the next step after that is to redirect that energy in a way that is helpful for us. I hope I answered in a very concise way.
No, I think redirecting our energy is a key to really use that fear to actually motivate you and to drive you. Like for me now with fear, when fear comes up, I just allow it to feed me, I allow it to guide me, and I allow it to really move, like push me towards it versus saying, oh my God, there's fear, so I'm going to back away. And I think that that's something that's really, really powerful that, once it can be a really powerful, positive energy that when it's fueling through you and you move towards it, it's like, you can like, they call like one acronym for fear is like feeling excited and ready. And that's,
right.
That's kind of how I've reframed my fear in my life. So, which is really, really cool. So we are going, so we're going to take our final break here. This is Deb Acker with Truth Talk. When we return, I'm going to share my tidbits of truth and we'll finish with the vibration activation. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune in to Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
What if your body and mind were the compasses to the secrets, mysteries, and magic of life? Glenna Rice, co-host of The Questionable Parent, is inviting you to access all that is possible. Glenna is a 10-year certified veteran Access Consciousness facilitator who offers an amazing variety of life-changing classes and workshops. Work with Glenna from anywhere, with teleclasses and workshops all over the globe. To learn more and see Glenna's current schedule of events, classes, and workshops, visit glennarice.com.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Welcome to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat Basile, the host of the Dr. Pat Show, and I am so thrilled that we've created this venue for all of you out there.
Dr. Pat Basile will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
What we have heard is that you want to ensure for us that we keep positive, holistic, uplifting, transformative talk radio on the air. We're excited to bring you the contemporary conversations about Lyme disease.
We promise not to let the light fade on Lyme.
So fasten your seatbelts. We've got lots more to share with you in the weeks to come.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio with Dr. Pat and help keep our mission strong on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Welcome back to Truth Talk. I'm your host, Deb Acker. In today's Tidbits of Truth, I want to talk to you guys about really a few steps on how I live as my most confident self, and really kind of bring in another awareness around living as our most confident self, an awareness that we slightly touched on in the show, but I want to expand on further. And really that awareness is related to, I know Christina mentioned about, we really do get, especially as women, does really, really get reinforced to kind of be like it, to be a good, sweet little girl, right? To be quiet, to be shy. And it's really, really important as we kind of step into our own power and really step into our own truth and really own who we truly are, own who we came here to be, that we start to really honor and open to the feminine side of us, right? So many times there's really, really common beliefs in the corporate world that it's like, it's good to be a man, right? So most women tend to take on that masculine role, and then we tend to kind of just show up as a man, like show up from masculine energy in we're a female and we're showing up in masculine energy in the corporate world. And while that on some level can serve us, starting to harness those feminine energies and starting to really own and really step into those feminine energies can be so powerful in really stepping into our power and living as our most confident self. So one tool that I've walked people through on how to do that really is recognizing. So Christina was talking about, and I love the power position, right? So, it's really taking on that stance and embodying that energy, right? And that is super, super powerful, but also to recognize that the feminine energy exists in the lower half of your body. And so many times when we're in masculine energy, our shoulders are wide. If you think about like a strong, powerful male or even like a bodybuilder, usually their shoulders are extremely wide. And so, if you start to really bring your energy down into the lower half of your body, into your hips, into your legs, all of a sudden you can start to harness and cultivate that feminine energy. And why is that important? Because feminine energy is all about magnetization. It's all about receiving. It's all about allowing, and it's all about opening up. So if you can imagine, so when we're in the corporate world and we're trying to make things happen, which is really has the energy behind it of really efforting, has the energy behind it of really like just like basically it really is, it just feels really heavy. It's like you're just trying to make something happen. And so you start to shift into this mindset of receiving, of magnetizing, of opening, of feeling of allowing and being vulnerable. All of that is such a, like, if you feel into all of those words and you feel where those exist in your body and how those land in your body, they all have a completely different energy around just that calm, around that peace, around that openness. And so what's really, really cool about that, what's really, really powerful about that is instead of having to effort to make things happen in your life, you all of a sudden you open yourself up to actually receiving that stuff, to like allowing that stuff to like basically attracting that stuff, to magnetizing that stuff. And can you imagine a life where it's like you're still having just as much success, if not more, and yet it's coming from a space of really like ease and grace and just calm and presence. And so there is something truly, truly powerful about that. And again, you simply can, you can start to access that feminine energy for all the women out there that are looking and wanting to do that. You can start to access that by literally just bringing your attention down into your hips. So you take some nice deep breaths, you relax in your chest and you relax in that upper half of your body, and then you bring your energy into your hips, into your legs, and you put the focus in your hips and in your legs. So instead of taking that really like masculine stance, sometimes maybe if you're at a networking event, instead you can start to you lean your hip to one side and then you maybe switch your hip and you lean it to the other side, and just see how that impacts who you attract, who comes up to you versus you having to effort and go up to them. I know as I've started to use this process in my own life, I will say like people just are naturally like people that I intuitively say, oh, I want to speak to that person, instead of me coming, having to go up to them or figure out how to approach them, they end up coming up to me. And I've gotten clients from just literally harnessing this feminine energy. So it's something, because it's that creative energy, because it's that juicy energy, it's just something that's extremely, extremely powerful. So to finish today's episode, today's episode, I want to go ahead and finish with a vibration activation. And for those of you guys who are new to vibration activation, what I'm going to do is connect you to the light. And I will walk you through this step by step, but we're going to bring the light all the way through our body. And then we'll expand the light out 5 feet, 10 feet, all the way out to the entire universe. And then I might say something like everywhere that you're in self-doubt. And you want to see that self-doubt coming out of your body, and you'll breathe in some positive alternative like confidence, like truth, like power. And I'll give you a positive alternative. And if there's another one that resonates for you that comes up, feel free to use that one instead. And so with that, go ahead and close your eyes and just start off by taking a nice deep breath, just breathing in through your nose and filling your belly, the sides of the body, the chest, and the legs with air. And just exhaling out nice and slow. And if you're closing your eyes, if you're operating heavy machinery, do not close your eyes, but for everybody else, have your eyes closed. And we're just going to allow that liquid light to come down in to your forehead, down past your eyes so that you can really see the truth, down past your nose, down past your ears so that you could really hear your truth, down into your mouth and into your throat so you can really speak your truth and be in your power, down across your shoulders and into your heart so you can feel your truth and feel your power, and down into your stomach and into your hips so you can really stand and ground in your truth and in your power, and down your legs and out through your feet so you can really move towards your truth with confidence, with power. And just connecting into the center of the earth that feels like mother's love. It's all ooey and gooey and warm and nurturing, and just allowing this liquid light to come back up through your feet, up through your legs, up through your torso, and up through your face. And one more time, just a liquid light shower just covering every crevice of your head, down your neck, across your shoulders, down your arms, down your torso, down your hips, down your legs, and out through your feet, and back up through your feet, up through your legs, up through your torso, and up through your face. And just expanding that light out 5 feet, and 10 feet, and just expanding into the room you're in, all the way out to the entire city that you're in, and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and just open, expanding, and breathing out to the entire country that you're in, wherever you are located, and open, expanding, and breathing out past the entire continent that you're on, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and open, expanding, and breathing, and seeing that light cover the entire world, just super, super, super big, just open, expanding, and breathing, and out past the entire universe, past all the planets. Just see that light getting bigger and bigger and bigger, clear and just open, expanding, and breathing. And again, everywhere that you're in self-doubt, I want you to see that coming out of your body and just breathing in confidence, breathing in power, and breathing in truth. And breathing in confidence, breathing in power, breathing in truth. And everywhere you're not following your heart, just exhaling that out and just breathing in your truth, just following your heart, just breathing in your heart, breathing in your truth. And everywhere in some way you're not good enough, just exhaling that out and just breathing in self-worth, breathing in self-love, and breathing in truth. Breathing in self-worth, breathing in love, and breathing in truth. And everywhere it has to be perfect, or everywhere you're focused on perfectionism, everywhere you're focused on it being perfect, it not being perfect, just exhaling that out and breathing in being enough, just breathing in worth, breathing in being enough, breathing in worth, breathing in being enough, breathing in worth, breathing in being enough. And everywhere in some way you've taken on the belief that being a female is wrong, just exhaling that out and just breathing in your true self, breathing in enough, breathing in your true self, breathing in you, breathing in enough, breathing in your true self, breathing in you, breathing in enough. And everywhere to be successful, you have to be a male, you have to take on male energy. Just exhaling that out of your body. And again, just breathing in truth, breathing in your true self, breathing in enough, breathing in you, and breathing in truth, breathing in your true self, breathing in enough, and breathing in you. And one more time, just taking a nice deep inhale and exhale and just breathing in you and breathing in enough. And just feeling your feet nice and flat on the ground and feeling your body in the chair and just bringing yourself back into the room. And taking one more nice deep inhale and exhale. And with that, I want to thank my guest today, Christina Bold, for sharing such great information. And I want to thank you all for tuning into Truth Talk. I always love hearing from my audience. So if you have a comment on the show or would like to introduce yourself, you can send me a note on the contact page of my website at deboraacker.com. And there you can also sign up for my complimentary pattern identifying discovery session, as well as my free Living in Your Truth guide. And next week on Truth Talk, we'll have Tanya Richardson speaking about intuitive and angelic guidance. So in the meantime, have a great week, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for listening to Truth Talk Radio with your host, Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio every Wednesday at 3 Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com and experience the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. Each week, Deb interviews an inspiring guest and illuminates the truth to a wide range of topics, including love, life, purpose, career, consciousness, and abundance. Welcome to the world of infinite possibilities. For more information about Deb, including how to contact or work with her, visit truthtalkradioshow.com. Look forward to seeing you next week for more Truth Talk Radio.